Cool. Okay, alright, we're gonna take a look at the satisfying downfall of Nas Daily, and, we know absolutely nothing about Nas Daily, so let's see how this goes.
Uh, Name alone
Blasphemous
is intriguing
HD,
me.
Illuminati, or Master Uguay. These are just a few of the many examples of YouTubers who were once at the top of the world, but who lost their audience and came crashing back down to earth. However, fewer faced a more drastic downfall than Nas Daily.
Whoa.
He went from racking up millions of views per video at his peak to struggling to hit 100,000 despite having
Damn.
13 million subscribers.
That's a serious drop-off. Like,
That is. Does
Uh,
that something I always have trouble wrapping my head around? Like, do people just not unsubscribe? They don't, right? Or they often don't.
well, yeah, like, I mean, in my case,
Like, they just won't bother to watch the videos anymore,
Yeah.
but they're like, I don't mind being offered the video, and I will watch it if they ever get good again, sort of thing.
yeah, and, I mean, they do
13 million
lose.
subscribers and 50,000 views? How does that even compute? I can't wrap my head around that.
Yeah, and you do lose subscribers, but, like, the amount of people that, like, will just ignore your videos is much higher than the people that actively go to your channel to click the unsubscribe button, right?
Yeah, because there is a reasonable amount of friction in place to unsub. Like, you've got to kind of click on the video and be annoyed enough by the video to not just close it, but to unsubscribe it before you close it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you're not going to, like, I'm not subscribed to that many people, but the channel list is so, like, you're not going to go scrolling through there looking for them. You
Yeah.
have to click on the video again. You have to remember the next time you see a video from them, that's right, I was going to unsubscribe.
Yes. Yeah.
And I guess I can see that wouldn't happen all that often. Wouldn't
No.
happen all that readily.
Subscribers. Hi, I'm the Internet Anarchist. I create weekly YouTube documentaries, and today we'll be examining the deserved downfall of Nas Daily. Believe it or not, but Nas was a big deal at one point. He was inescapable on YouTube. No matter where you looked, you'd eventually come across Nas with his massive grin and black t-shirt.
Then how have we never heard of this guy, really?
I think that, well, I mean, I don't really watch a lot of YouTube, but I think that this is just a part of YouTube that we don't even really watch, right? Like, a lot of the YouTubers that I watch don't have this kind of following.
Right. Well,
so I feel it
but
like
is this like a pre-Mr. Beast kind of a person? Like, those are really big numbers.
they
I just
are.
don't understand how somebody getting that many millions of views, I don't think I've ever seen a video suggested by this person. Is
No,
it such a different segment of YouTube that doesn't interact with what we look at?
that's what I'm thinking. Is
Ah.
like a lot of these bigger YouTubes, they appeal to, well, kids mainly. And I mean,
But that's sort of like, I don't tangentially. Yeah, I guess I don't see what the kids are looking at. Not really.
and
I
it might
suppose
just
the
be
target audience, right? YouTube knows how old we are. If we're already outside of a certain target audience range, presumed target audience range, why would it for us this?
Yeah, and I mean, you also have to understand that there's a lot of stuff on content. There's a lot of people that sit in this number of subscribers. Like, I mean, obviously not in comparison to the people that sit in like the sort of 100 to 500K, but there's a lot of content creators that have this many subscribers that you've never heard of or never see, and it's just because their content either doesn't appeal to you or YouTube doesn't think it appeals to you. I mean, and how long ago?
I mean, if you've never heard of them, you can't know their content doesn't appeal to you, right? Like,
Yeah.
that's the thing.
And
this is not somebody I've actively thought about not liking or liking, because I've never even,
Yeah,
no
I mean,
interaction.
we'll see what kind of
Just
videos. Like, you can
surprising.
sort of see the stuff in the background there.
Yeah, that's why. Like, it looks like fairly generic, viral, clickbaity kind of stuff.
But
I'm just a
also
little
look at
surprised I've
the
never-
time period, like a video 5 years ago, 4 years ago.
Yeah. And this video is completely actual, right? So
Yeah.
presumably this is from basically 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Topic.
Oh, actually, wait, no, sorry. This video specifically, like this one that we're watching right now, was only released
Yeah.
today. So this is brand
Yeah.
new.
Brand new, yeah. So if he's showing us videos saying 5 years ago, that's actually 5 years ago.
Yeah.
From right now. Yeah. Not even older than that, because this video is also old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man who is a human calculator.
Hi, I'm Scott Flansburgh, and I'm faster than any calculator on the planet Earth.
He can add the numbers faster than he can talk, and he never graduated from high school. How did he learn?
Okay.
Most importantly, Nas and his content was actually loved by the audience, with a comment on one of his older videos reading, "I'm much obliged to Nas for such inspiring videos, giving a light of goodness in everyone's heart watching him. I wish that this channel reached to every individual sharing this land." Fast forward to today, and almost all of his videos have a horrible like to dislike ratio, regardless of
That's some real bad rate. Like, because when you think about like
Yeah.
how often do people like or dislike videos, like it's a very
Probably not that
very
often,
very
right?
small percentage. Like if you go to Mr.
Relatively
Beast
speaking.
videos, like it's like 1% of people are liking the.
Yeah.
But like these kind of like to go out of your way on a video that has 2K likes to downvote it 12,000 times, that's a huge variance.
That is pretty. Yeah, that's pretty significant. Kind of
of
crazy.
their topic. The love and respect people once had for him and his content has now turned into widespread seething hatred. One person on Twitter wrote, "Is it weird that I hate Nas Daily more than anyone else on earth? I mean, he makes videos, which is ultimately not that big a deal, but when I see his face, I feel like I'm going to have a stroke." And unsurprisingly, almost
That's a brutal.
It really is. Like, that's somebody taking the time to make a point of trying to explain how they're not sure why, but they really don't like this person. That's what I assume he did something, right? Like,
Yeah,
it's just some random thing that happened. I don't think so. Surely he
No,
has
this
to
has got to be pretty bad, right? Like,
All right.
I mean,
Well-
it is a satisfying downfall of video, so you know
Yeah,
it's
okay,
got to
yeah,
be
right,
satisfying. Let's find out.
Yeah.
everyone in the replies agreed with the OP sentiment. So what happened? How did Nas manage to turn such a massive audience against himself, effectively ending his career? Well, it might have something to do with his unchecked ego, narcissism, and a tendency to exploit others' culture and religion for content. But to get the full picture of how he reached this point, we first have to step back and start from the very beginning. Nusser Yassin, aka Nas, was born to an Arab Muslim family of Palestinian descent that was living in the small city of Araba, Israel. And while this detail might seem insignificant at first, it would later play a pivotal role in his ultimate downfall. At the age of 19, he successfully got into Harvard for aerospace engineering. His degree of choice also inspired him to upload his first YouTube video in November of 2012, titled Operation Skyfall: First Hamburger in Space. As the name suggests, this was a video of Nas and friends from Harvard attaching a hamburger to a weather balloon and sending it 30,000 meters into space.
Right, so like engineering, right? Just
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
yeah.
Now wait, does that mean he moved to America? I didn't quite. It said he grew up in some small place in Israel.
Yeah, and then went to Harvard on a scholarship, something similar.
No, but it just said he got into Harvard. So, like, I feel like they skipped a whole lot of steps in between there, like emigrating, or like, did he get into the Harvard from Israel?
Well, you can apply as an overseas citizen, right? You just have to
I
kind of
guess
pay
so,
up front,
but, like-
maybe just assess money, right?
Yeah.
Take the money.
So that's what we think happened here.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's either scholarship.
His parents are still
or-
in Israel, and he's like, I'm off to Harvard in America to study aerospace engineering.
Yeah,
I mean, it makes sense if you're that good.
yeah. I mean, look at the video that he's making. Like, he's not.
Yeah,
He knows what he's doing. It's
Did
obviously
we see
very
a date
smart.
anywhere? When is this uploaded first video to YouTube, Hamburger to Space?
I don't think
It was kind of an
there's-
old-looking interface, but like he seems to just be making
Yeah,
it up.
but that doesn't really mean anything. It's just that so it doesn't look like.
All right.
This became a bigger success than Nas could have ever imagined.
Wait, there we go. 2012.
Yep, I see it there. That's not that long ago, really. I mean, that's a fairly long time ago, but
I mean, that's what 12 years ago.
Years?
More than 12 years is? Yeah.
yeah, bang on 12 years. 12 years and a month.
Yeah.
Month and a half.
Which I mean was when YouTube was reasonably new, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact date that YouTube.
I don't know
came
when
out,
did
but-
when did YouTube actually start? It wasn't even particularly old at that point.
So 2005. So I mean, it was
Whoa.
it was
All right,
old,
so it's
but
been
it
around
wasn't.
for a while at
Yeah.
that point, but not exactly ages. Trying to think, when did I? I feel like the idea of YouTube has been around for a while, but then like other places, because people would put videos on the internet, right? And then eventually those things would rapidly make their way to YouTube once YouTube existed, because it was so easy to get it from other places onto YouTube. And once it was on YouTube, it was pretty
Yeah, I mean,
safe on YouTube.
prior to YouTube, it was mainly stuff like Newgrounds and stuff, which was mainly like Flash, and it wasn't like
Yeah.
video footage, because video storage is super expensive, right? Especially
It is, exactly.
because you have to decode it and so forth. So that's YouTube was, if not the original, or it would be very close to one of the original hosting websites that was outside
Yeah.
of that sort of Flash anime style videos.
I guess it filled a necessary niche very quickly, so it always felt like it was meant to exist.
Yeah.
Makes sense. If you could get it onto YouTube, then it was like safely up in the cloud, right? Then it
Yes.
was on the internet. It was very difficult to get it back down again.
All right.
Earning over 500,000 views in less than 20
Nice.
days. Although this didn't motivate Nas to start
Shit.
uploading regularly, it did reveal the massive potential audience that was waiting on YouTube. So
500,000 views is
upload, Nas returned to the internet.
crazy
this
for that
with
time.
the explicit goal of becoming a content creator. He started a fairly unique vlog series on Facebook in which he uploaded a minute-long video every single day while showcasing interesting things from around the world.
Okay.
So it looks like he went to Harvard and then came back.
Well, this doesn't look like it's Israel, man. This looks like South America.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been to Israel.
Doesn't look Middle Eastern. No, neither have I, but this has be at least a very South American vibe to it.
Right. So I mean, it probably
Like,
just
look at those trees, man. Those don't look like Middle Eastern trees. I
no,
don't think.
no.
Not
you're
that I
right.
know these things.
So
Alright.
yeah, probably moved
But,
to South America or something.
One of those messages said we're going to the Amazon. So I don't know.
True. Yeah. I mean, I suppose he was just traveling, right? Like once he completed his degree,
right.
and
Okay,
yeah,
he
he's
was
traveling
doing
around.
a daily upload. I bet you his parents had money. To Harvard, traveling around. Doesn't look like he has it.
Well, we don't know what happened in between, like being at Harvard and doing YouTube, right? Like he probably had like a pretty good engineering job or whatever he was doing that was paying quite well, and he was doing this on the side. Because they're only 1 minute videos, right? He kind of like, he could go to just take like a month off, go do like a bunch of videos, come back, and he has just like heaps of content, right?
Upload them every day, yeah, right.
1,000 daily videos until January of 2019, with his Facebook page gaining over 12 million followers. A month later, he started a new series of weekly videos on YouTube. These new videos were longer and had much better production quality.
20 million people. 20 million people.
I feel like, just based on the intro to this video, this is where Mr. Beast got a lot of his ideas from.
Yeah?
I've like just the way that he talks and the type of content that he's doing is just like, we got a large amount of people to do this.
It's true, yeah. Like, he watched these videos and assumed correctly what it was that drew people to them, and then like focused on that more, right? Made it more about that. Distilled the effective elements out of this.
Yeah.
Because that's quite a lot of people in a fairly short space of time, right?
Although, I mean, I don't know what he's about to do in this video, but just based on like the stuff that I've seen so far and the previews and stuff, they feel like a very Mr. Beast-esque style. So I feel like Mr. Beast is definitely drawn from this guy in some way. It might just be a small sort of concept of it, but just feels very like this guy was way ahead of his time in terms of the content he was making.
Yeah, it does seem that way. Because this looks like something you would see right now.
Yeah.
This is like, what, 5-10 years ago. kind of crazy.
Visit one city every year. And that city is not London, New York, or Mumbai. That city is a small dot on the map called...
And that's when he started seeing mainstream levels of success. Many of these longer videos went super viral, gaining millions of views and propelling Mars onto the forefront of YouTube. But it didn't take long for this empire to begin unraveling, ultimately resulting in the pitiful state it is today. However, unlike many other YouTubers who immediately fell off after a single big controversy, Nas's decline is due to a series of massive blunders over the years. Like when he got caught trying to exploit an elderly tattoo artist to make a quick buck. In July of 2021, Nas uploaded a video titled World's Oldest Tattoo Artist. The video featured a 103-year-old tattoo artist from the Philippines named Apo Wang Od, who relied on traditional methods like using thorns instead of modern machinery for her art.
In the jungles of the Philippines, there is a woman who is 103 years old. She
does
is
not
the
look 103.
oldest tattoo
No,
artist
right?
in the world, and she doesn't use a tattoo machine, and she doesn't let you choose your own tattoo.
This was a classic Nas Daily style video, with nothing out of the ordinary. That is, until you peeked into the video's description and found this. For today's video, we flew all the way to the highlands of the Philippines to bring you this story. And what's even better is that we convinced Wang Od to become a teacher. So she's now officially teaching on Nas Academy. Put simply, Nas was offering a tattoo course from Wang Od on his own education platform called Nas Academy.
Right. So he went to a bunch of like
Wow.
sort of poorer situated areas and just found interesting people and then exploited them because he could offer them slightly more money. That definitely seems like the type of thing that would be pretty successful until people found out, right?
Yeah, I mean, it depends how exploitative you're being. I mean, what is he charging for people to? I don't know. I feel like this could be done in an ethically.
Oh, I'm sure it is,
win-win
but
kind of a way. But yeah, I'm
yeah.
assuming he's gone.
Yeah,
almost full scam here.
Right.
Getting people to sign up for things.
Yeah, I'm more talking specifically in this case. Obviously, like people out there that.
What Nas Academy suggests to me, there's a whole bigger like
Yeah,
game and play here,
he's
right?
got
That
some.
this is a larger thing that's happening. I mean,
Yeah, like it's
from
like
the phrasing, it's not like, hey, I've just opened this academy where you can get this course. It's I now also have this course in addition to all the other things I already have.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like, wow, it's just like getting ahead of the whole alpha subscription. What do they call those services? I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah,
the services that are constantly being offered to people now. What's the Andrew Tate one? Hustlers University.
That's what I was going to bring
crap.
up. It's like the Andrew Tate sort of style of
but I feel like there's a name for that. No. It's like it's self-help. That's what it is.
Yeah,
right?
self-help courses. Yeah.
The self-help courses. Yeah. This is like, I don't know. When did self-help courses become a thing?
Oh, ages ago.
Well,
I mean,
after this. So
yeah. Well, before this. Like
self-help
courses,
extent, right?
No, they have been around for ages. Like you used to go to seminars.
Yeah, they have, but I mean, like not as the big thing that it is on YouTube right now.
No, because it's just like they're taking what already existed and they're doing it in a different format. Like as opposed to going and buying DVDs or whatever.
That like TV evangelism type self-help stuff, right?
Yes,
Buy this book, or like mail in $1 and you get sent my book. Yeah, books, I guess, right? Mostly.
Yeah, mostly books or DVDs or VHSs.
Yeah,
like,
DVDs. Yeah.
Like this is not a new thing. This is just something
No,
that
it's not. But
is more
like
easily
this
accessible.
YouTube is very much a new modern thing, or at least I feel like it was then. Now it's pretty normal.
Yeah, and
it's almost gotten back off YouTube, right?
You have to remember this stuff's not
my Patreon.
It's not done on YouTube. They have their own site, and you sign up for that site, and that gives you access. Like
it's a gateway.
Yeah, the YouTube is the promotional advertising source to push you to their Patreon or however they're.
Yeah,
just
that platform.
horrible preying on the
Bet you it's
weak type
Discord,
shit.
right? I bet you a lot of them are just on Discord,
No,
private Discord.
no, it's not Discord.
No?
No, I'm telling you, it's private websites. Like his website will be called Nas whatever .com.
Well,
And-
nasacademy.com probably, right?
Yeah. I couldn't remember the word he used.
No,
Yeah. And it'll just push you there. It will be like he'll have his video and he'll be like, oh, by the way, you can also like check out nasacademy.com and there we have a bunch of self-help crap. And then like all the sort of people who are like, yeah, okay, my life is in a bad spot right now. Maybe I'll sign up for his course and maybe I'll learn something. But most of the time you don't learn anything. They don't teach you anything. Most of the time those videos are very much if anything, teaching you bad advice from the videos that I've looked into. Yeah, they often teach you the worst possible ways to accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish.
But they're at least teaching you to accomplish something?
No, that's the problem. They're not actually teaching you to accomplish it. It's like, you know, same sort of area as like what are they called, like pyramid schemes. They're just a different variation of a pyramid scheme where it's like, oh, well, you can be good if you get your friends to sign up. Like that kind of just trying to milk as much money out of you as possible. It's like, oh, you bought the first course, but it doesn't really work until you buy the second course, which we offer for a discounted price because you've already bought the first course. And then you're in this like constant sort of cycle of spending infinite amounts of money on this crap that doesn't actually tell you anything.
That's fucked.
Yeah, it's a really, really, really horrible fucking system.
Business model.
Yeah.
But I bet you it makes money.
Yeah,
well, I'm sure they wouldn't be doing it.
And that's the problem is like a lot of people that I speak to about stuff like this will always say like, well, why does it exist? So I'm like, because it works. Because people do pay money for it. If people didn't pay money for it would go away.
If people have a problem to solve and, you know, they're motivated enough to look for a solution, then they're generally prepared to pay what they consider to be a reasonable price to get that solution, right? So you just trick them into thinking you have the solution for sale at a reasonable price. People will give you that reasonable price and expect a solution.
Yeah. And the problem,
you can hoodwink them hard enough, then you know you needn't ever even necessarily provide said solution.
Yeah, exactly. And you never need to because you can just keep selling more courses and saying like, you know, oh well, you know, maybe if you do the next course,
it will work.
Yeah. And the problem is that there's also a lot of people that have the mentality, or maybe even not this mentality, but in this the type of situation they'll be like, well, I spent money on it, so I've got to get something out of it. So they sort of like convince themselves.
The old sunk cost fallacy.
Yeah,
the sunk cost fallacy.
And they just convince themselves.
Spent $10. What's another $5 to get value out of my 10?
Oh, right? Not even that. I'm talking more in the sense of like, I've spent money, therefore I'm going to get something out of this course. Therefore, they convince themselves that they have gotten something out of this course.
Oh, right. Yes. Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, hey, placebo effects are some of the strongest things there are. So if you're convinced the course worked, then yeah, it worked. I guess hoodwinking people into accepting subjective improvement as meeting the objective criteria that you offered them. Like, you know, don't worry, I'm going to make your life better. You'll be more financially stable after my course. And I mean, if you believe it, then it's technically true, right?
Exactly.
But
right?
I imagine that kind of snake oil salesman kind of dancing on the line of the legality there.
And the problem is that like this could never technically be illegal because like you are buying a service, they are providing you with a service. Whether the service means anything or does anything doesn't matter. They're still providing you with resources, and that's why it's okay. Like if you buy something off Temu for $2 and it comes and it's fake, it's like it's not legal to send you something that's fake because are getting the product that was advertised to you, as long as they don't specifically say this is a Samsung branded cable and you don't get a Samsung one, then it becomes a legal issue. But if you just go and buy a USB cable from Temu and they send you a generic one, you can't complain when it's like garbage, right?
Yeah, no, and I'm sure they'll have carefully phrased the posts and the advertising.
Yes,
or attempted to carefully phrase them to Yeah, but that's yeah. Then if you're subjectively satisfied with the cable, then that's fine, and I guess you're getting what you pay for.
Yeah.
But I imagine these self-help courses promise you an awful lot,
But
and
if
cost correspondingly large amounts. If you happen to get that out of it, then that's cool. But I would imagine the people who get out of it what they feel they should probably don't have that big of a problem in the first place.
yeah,
Guess they're more.
and that's a big thing as well. Is like people will convince themselves that they didn't know something from the that was advertised to be a part of the course when they already knew that. They're just saying that they learned from the course. Maybe it's
Yeah.
because they learned it a long time ago and they don't remember, or it's said to them in a different way, or whatever. And I mean, you could argue, yes, that is another form of learning. If someone presents two different things, the same thing to you in two different ways, then technically, if you learn better from the second version, yes, that would be accurate. But I guarantee that's not what he's doing here. Like
No,
this,
it's probably
this feels like just a complete scam, and is taking these like poor people that like, I mean, this tattoo artist, like, she must be insanely good, right? And just exploiting them for his monetary gain.
well. I guess we're gonna find out, right?
Yeah.
And this was great. Nas got more people to visit his site, Wang Od got the opportunity to share her art with the world, and the people who were interested in traditional tattooing got to learn it directly from the master. It was a win-win situation for everyone. However, it wasn't long before things took an unexpected turn. On August 4th, 2021, someone claiming to be Wang Od's relative made a revelation about his tattooing course on Facebook, stating, "Warning, Wang Od Academy is a scam. My grandmother did not sign any contract with Nas Daily to do any academy. Some people are taking advantage of our culture. Please help us stop this disrespect to the legacy of Apo Wang Od and to the Buttbot tribe." In response, Nas uploaded a video showing Wang Od putting her thumbprint on the contract.
Whoa.
Okay, but what did he do to get her to do?
This was
Yeah,
also
that's
accompanied by a now deleted statement from Nas.
Some out of
reading, "We
context
approached Wang Od
video
because,
of
just like you, we love her. We love her traditions and are inspired by her. We wanted to share her culture for future generations to appreciate and respect the ancient Kalinga tradition of Mamba Batok. So we pitched her family with the idea of creating Wang Od Academy. Her and her family both loved this idea and have worked with us to build it, with Wang Od teaching herself. As a matter of fact, Wang Od's trusted niece, Estella Palangdao, was present and translated the contents of the contract prior to Wang Od affixing her thumbprint, signifying her full consent to the project. This is the clearest evidence that it is not a scam and achieved the consent of her and her immediate family.
Okay.
Ooh.
The problem with this, and I don't know if this is where this is going, but the problem with this is that, like, yeah, the niece was there, who apparently was trusted, but the niece is obviously, you know, like, financially motivated as well, because everyone is, but 99% of people are financially. So, like, is it just that she translated it incorrectly, or like sort of just highlighted the good bits and didn't highlight the bad bits? Like, this
Yeah,
is
it's always the difficulty with translating, right? If the person doing the translating isn't independent, how are they translating it?
Yeah.
In a very positive way or in a very negative way?
Yeah.
And I'm still not entirely convinced. What it 103-year-old woman? I feel like we kind of skated over that one. Is this woman really 103 years old?
It would not
I mean,
surprise
maybe.
me. Yeah, it would not surprise me.
I suppose it's possible.
I don't think
But
that
I've
is a
got
lie.
to assume a 103-year-old woman may not appreciate the depths of what is being agreed to.
Yeah, I mean, she's probably never seen a contract before in her life, right? Like,
no, and the use of a thumbprint suggests a lack of literacy.
Yeah.
The translating. There's so many problems with this from a legality standpoint.
Or even just like a
moral standpoint.
Moral standpoint. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably questionable.
Now, this could have been a fairly decent response to the allegations. However, the way Nas ended this statement only caused more anger. It read, 40% of Nas Academy is made up of Filipinos, so for us, this is personal. We deeply care about the Philippines and respect the many cultures and traditions that exist across the country. Maybe this was his effort to seem more credible to the outraged Filipino viewers. Most people compared his
100%.
reasoning to the kind racists use.
Yeah.
Like saying, I'm not prejudiced, I have friends from that group.
Yeah,
It
right?
only fueled more outrage.
Yeah.
Things got even worse when Gracia, the person who originally called out Nas Academy, made another post on Facebook stating, "Hello everyone, Wang Od Academy is not real. I spoke to her and she said she did not understand what the translators were saying. I'm sorry to
Yeah, so exactly, right? Like, it was not translated correctly, and she didn't know what she was even signing.
Yeah.
tell
I
you,
mean, she's
you will
being
not be
told to sign. Like, go put your thumbprint down there. Like that isn't generally indicative of a full comprehension of what's being done. Not
No.
I'm choosing to do it. I'm following an instruction to
Yeah,
do
I'm-
it because I
I've-
don't understand what I'm being instructed to do.
join
Yeah.
in at Nas Daily. I know you have some good intentions of sharing our culture to the next generation. However, our village concern is that some people are profiting and exploiting our art and culture. I know you spoke to someone and gave some money and will share profits, but Apo Wang Od is not aware of your contract. Hope you sort this out. Thank you, have a nice day. This went against everything Nas was saying, and after getting even more backlash, he immediately sent a team to the Philippines to reach a mutual understanding with Wang Od and her family. Credit where credit's due, he did take action to fix the issue, but that still doesn't answer why all this happened in the first place. If Gracia hadn't spoken out against the injustice, Nas would have likely continued selling the Wang Od course on his website without fairly compensating her. However, this wasn't the only time he'd incur wrath on his Filipino audience. A day after Gracia made her original post, a Filipino farmer named Louise Mabalou also came forward with the story of her encounter with Nas Daily. Louise was the creator of the Cacao Project, a non-profit aimed at fighting deforestation by providing better support and education to the farmers. And according to Louise, Nas wanted to make a video on her project, but when he reached the site, he had some nasty things to say about the Filipinos, like farmers are so poor, and why are Filipinos so poor? She also accused him of not releasing a video on the project because in his eyes it wasn't entertaining enough. He didn't care about raising awareness towards real issues and was only concerned about the number of views his videos would get.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying earlier, is he's just in it for the financial exploitation of people that are in a situation that is not as good as him.
Straight up two-faced.
Yeah.
That's I don't like that kind of dishonesty, that kind of hypocrisy. Yeah, that gets people riled up real quick if they see your true colors. All right, seeing someone's true colors,
Yeah,
especially when they're very contrary to the ones they've been presenting.
yes, and it's really horrible to do that kind of thing to anyone. No matter whether you think you're doing it is good. Like, he obviously had it in his head, right? Because I don't think, I mean, I do understand that his probably intentions were entirely like, you know, money, clicks, views, etc. But I think that he did think, oh, well, it's okay because like I am showing, I'm helping promote this tattoo artist, and she can promote her art to the world, and maybe that will bring in more like clients to her or whatever. But I think that's how he's justifying it. I don't think he thinks there's anything.
No.
Louise's post went viral, fueling even more backlash from around the world for his downright racist remarks, with comments reading, "Nas Daily is a liar," as well as, "Nas Daily hates the Philippines." In response, Nas uploaded a video denying the allegations, while also claiming that the entire Cacao Project is nothing but a facade.
On paper, it was supposed to be a non-profit that helps farmers. In reality, it's a for-profit that exploits farmers.
From there, this whole controversy
Okay.
slowly faded into internet obscurity,
Right.
but the damage was already done. Regardless of how true Louise's allegations were, a big chunk of the internet now saw Nas as nothing more than a privileged racist. And while all that was going on, Nas managed to get himself into yet another controversy, this time for shamelessly presenting crypto scammers as the most kind-hearted people in the world. On November 12th, 2021, Nas uploaded a now-deleted YouTube video
Doesn't age well.
titled The Most Generous Bitcoin Billionaire. The video painted the founder of the FTX crypto exchange, Sam Bankman-Fried, in an extremely positive light, almost short of calling him the best person ever to live.
Guy you see next to me is the most generous billionaire in the world, and I found him.
Hi, my name is Sam, and this is my story.
Sam has crazy hair. Sam is vegan. Sam sleeps 5 hours a night. Sam lives in the Bahamas with 10 roommates. Sam is 29 years old only, but Sam has $22 billion. And he wants to donate all of it to charity.
Later, in May of 2022, Nas posted a similar video titled Most Humble Crypto Billionaire, this time with Changpeng Zhao, the founder of Binance, which
Right. So now he's just targeting people with a lot of money because there's probably some sort of under the table money or whatever, especially because crypto was quite new. Just pay him lots of money with crypto.
I would imagine he wouldn't have had too much trouble finding people who are happy to pay for that kind of exposure through him.
Especially when you're talking about you're talking about Sam surname now and Binance. Like these are big players in the crypto market when the crypto market was just booming, right? So they'll give you as much crypto as you want to essentially put them in a good light so that people use their products.
Yeah. The crypto thing was something they wanted to increase the market share. They wanted to make it more accessible to normal people, right?
Yeah.
So the avenue of exposure.
Yeah.
Popular crypto exchange at the time, and just like with Sam Bankman-Fried, the video was filled to the brim with Nas showering endless amounts of praise on Zhao.
This is the richest guy in the world from crypto, and you don't even know him.
Hi, my name is CZ.
He made over $60 billion, but his mom still called him stupid. Let me tell you his incredible story.
Both of these videos looked like ads focused on improving the image of the two crypto billionaires. However, there was no mention of these being paid promotions anywhere in the videos or in their descriptions. But as fans would later find out, there's a high likelihood that these were ads.
Yeah,
and Nas
exactly,
simply
right?
didn't disclose the truth. In April of 2022, Nas went on a podcast hosted by a YouTuber named Silicon Valley Girl and accidentally spilled the beans.
Sometimes we get a brand deal in which I have to go on the spot for one full day and make a video about a person.
So sometimes the characters that are in your video are actually paid sponsorships.
Sometimes, yes.
Right. And this is what always happens, especially when you are an online celebrity or you accidentally slip up and say something you shouldn't. And then you get exposed for it because it's just human nature, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing, as you said, he doesn't think what he's doing is wrong, but on some level, he knows telling people it's happening isn't going to be effective. That's counterproductive.
Exactly.
So I'm not lying. I'm just not telling them the whole truth because that would, get in the way of what I'm trying to do here.
Yeah,
that
that would make people not like me as much, and then people won't watch my videos.
Kind of that. Yeah. I'm just helping them by showing them this video.
Yeah.
Do you say that?
We do not say that because, well, one, in the post, it's when we say thank you to XYZ, blah, blah, for making this possible. Two, it's like, we don't live in America.
He clearly admitted to hiding the sponsorships from his audience and tried to...
We don't live in America, so their rules don't apply, and it's all fine.
That's his logic for not... Ugh.
Yeah,
that's a worry.
That's
a worry.
He seems like a very much self-convincing type of person, where he will just do horrible things and then convince himself that he's helping someone or doing it out of the goodness of his heart because it affects whatever sort of thing that he's pushing. So it's okay to do this. It's okay to exploit people. It's okay to lie about whether you're profiting off something. which I feel like a lot of big people do, like in terms of like a lot of rich people, like Elon Musk probably thinks that he's one of the best people in the world because he probably gives a lot of money to charity. It's like the reason that he's giving a lot of money to charity is because it writes it off as a tax break and doesn't have to pay as much tax or whatever. It's like he justifies it to himself. Like when he said, "Oh, I paid like $3 million in tax," and it's like, yeah, but how much did you earn? What was that as a percentage? You know, justifying things like that to themselves to make them feel okay about the horrible things that they are doing.
Well, I probably said they don't see it as horrible things, right?
Yeah.
I don't think they're not framing their behavior in that way.
Sorry, yeah.
And I guess nobody else is either until they expose themselves. Like, no, I guess nobody has a problem with him presenting these crypto billionaires in a positive light if that's what he believes. But if it turns out the only reason he made that decision, that creative decision to present them in that light, is because they gave him money, well, and then he didn't say that as well. And then also, when he accidentally let slip, he,
yeah, and then
tried to walk it back and only came off looking even more questionable. That's what people like.
Yeah. Because it's all about public persona, right? Especially as someone that's like camera facing, right? It's all about how you're perceived by the public. And as long as you convince yourself that this will be perceived by the public and you make the changes that you need to make the public see you in a specific light, then it's okay.
Yeah.
Ends
justifying the means.
Realizing his blunder, not to mention his entire logic of quote, "we don't live in America," is extremely flawed. This is because YouTube, the platform that he uploads his videos on, is based in America and therefore has to adhere to the American law, including clear disclosure of promotions.
Yeah.
This also called all of his other videos.
This is a really interesting point because of the way the internet works. It's like YouTube is an American company and you're uploading to a YouTube website, so therefore it needs to follow their laws. But like, this is an international thing. Like YouTube is international. It's not an American thing. It is owned by America for sure, and it does follow American law. But technically, isn't YouTube a international company?
I have no idea where. Well, I imagine for whatever reason it probably has
like this
local arms in most jurisdictions.
Yeah. Well, more what I'm trying to get across is YouTube is accessible anywhere and everywhere in the world does use YouTube, right? For the most part.
But that's because we can access all of the internet from everywhere, right? That's more of an internet thing than a...
Yeah, and that's what's really interesting when it comes to law. It's like, well, where does the law stand on that?
You choose part of Google anyway, right? And Google's an American company?
Yeah.
Like listed in America?
And Google is also, accessible anywhere. So technically, I think what needs to happen is, now that the internet is basically embedded into everyone's lives, we need to look at working out how to do international law for this kind of stuff. Because he's justifying what he's doing with the hiding of the sponsorships as, oh, well, in my country where I uploaded it, it doesn't need to be put out.
I don't think that's even necessarily the case, man. I think maybe he's justifying it like that to himself, but I can't think of any place where you don't have to disclose promotions in some way.
There's a lot of countries where you don't.
Guess.
I think China is. For example.
Maybe.
Don't quote me on that, but it feels like China's copyright laws, for example, are really very vastly different.
Yeah, but this isn't like a copyright thing necessarily.
No, I'm using that as an example.
I don't know. It's like a fiduciary duty thing. Like you just... I guess he's not really offering a product. Yeah, it's complicated.
But if we had some kind of international law, like in regards to like how the internet works, that sort of applied everywhere, I mean, you'd have to get everyone to agree to it. Be the hard part. But you wouldn't run into this issue where people would hide stuff that is clearly illegal, and then justify it by, oh, well, I don't live in the US, so it doesn't matter. He wouldn't be able to do. because it would still be.
Well, I mean, people aren't doing it as much as they should, even in places where they're happy to acknowledge that they should.
Yeah.
Or they don't do it in a way that's really it's not really adequate.
Yeah.
They're not adhering to the spirit of the law.
But I don't know. I just think it's an interesting talking point about like when does it become illegal? Because I mean,
Well, I think it becomes illegal when some empowered entity questions your ability to do it and takes you to court over it when you don't.
But they can't take him to court over. He doesn't live in the US.
No, then they take YouTube to court.
Yeah,
They
I
threaten to
suppose.
take
Yeah,
YouTube
it would
to
just
court
be a
and
YouTube
say,
problem, right?
YouTube, either you tell this creator what to do, or you ban the creator because they're not listening to what you tell them, or we take you to court for not doing that.
True. Right.
And
yeah.
then
sue the host, not the uploadee.
Yeah, exactly, because ultimately it's YouTube that has these videos uploaded that aren't adhering to the rules as they interpret them. So they can insist that, because the issue, him doing it, I guess, is one problem. That's hard. Well, as he would have justified, like if he isn't in America, right, then that's very hard to go after him because potentially wherever he's doing it, it isn't a problem. But it is a problem in America, and so if an American website is hosting these things, doing these things that are a problem for Americans, then you'd ask the website to stop.
It's kind of crazy. So I was just looking at this, like where it's paused, and like look at he's averaging 10 million views every. That's insane. That is so many.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
it's an awful lot. But it kind of makes sense, right? If you have 10 million subscribers or somewhere in that ballpark, I feel like the vast majority would watch your video.
I mean, sure, but like to get to those numbers, like that's crazy, and to keep it consistent. Like, if you go to most YouTube channels, like Mr. Beast has 336 million subscribers, but he doesn't get 336 million on every video, right? He gets like 100.
Yeah, but that I can understand because a lot of that audience truly is very young, right? Like they'd make an account just to sub to his channel and like a video, or to try and get into his whatever the promotional things that you can win something.
Oh right, I forget that he does a lot of subscriber video giveaways.
Yeah, that sort of thing. So I imagine he sees a bit of inflation because of that, or at least to some extent. I can see how that might account for it.
It's just it's like amazing because all of these topics are quite, I mean, they're in the same category, but they're quite vastly different, and to continuously get the same amount of views on every single video with such a varying topic range is crazy.
Yeah, definitely. I agree.
Into question, leaving viewers wondering if he was genuinely interested in something or was just praising it because he was paid to do so. This, of course, opened up a whole new can of worms. Suddenly, viewers couldn't help but wonder, were any of his videos ever genuine, or was he just hyping things up because he was paid to? To make matters worse,
I'd say
both the good
mostly the latter.
he promoted in his videos turned out to be scammers, with massive charges of money laundering and customer fraud. Sam Bankman-Fried in particular got charged with a fine worth over $11 billion and is also serving 25 years in prison. In other words, Nas likely took the money from two of the biggest scammers to make promotional videos about how humble and charitable they are. This on its own would be enough to end the career of most YouTubers. But Nas wasn't done digging his own grave yet, as he was about to pick a fight with over 2 billion Muslims for his mockery of...
I'd just like to point out that the shirt he's wearing, like the progress bar keeps increasing and decreasing based on the time, and I'm wondering if it's...
I was going to ask about that at some point. I too have been noticing it. We've only been oscillating between certain values though, 35, 37, 39, 41.
Well, in the earlier, it was at like 10% or under, like single digits.
Yeah, that was a 9%.
I think...
But then I wondered if that was the angle and we were only seeing part of the 39 maybe.
Oh yeah, possibly.
It is weird though. Does he truly own that many of these very similar but different shirts?
I suppose maybe he owns 1%, like 100 of them, 1 to 100%, and maybe as he did each video, he upped the percent by 1. That's
possible.
That's my theory, but without watching every. hard to tell, but no,
Yeah.
that's kind of, I don't know. I like that merch. It's kind of cool.
It's definitely clever.
Islam, and by extension, his hypocritical views on the Palestine-Israel conflict. In July of 2024, Nas uploaded a video titled, "I studied Islam for 1 month, and I lost all my hair." And this title alone was plenty disrespectful. You see, the second half of the video was referring to the tradition of men willingly shaving their heads after a pilgrimage in the holiest city of Makkah. So for Nas to refer to it as losing his hair raised some stern eyebrows from the Muslim community. And judging by the like to dislike ratio, the video wasn't any better. The whole thing was filled to the brim with misinformation.
I mean, he still hit more likes than dislikes.
Yeah, still.
I mean, it's a horrible
Not
ratio.
a good sign,
but
right?
yeah, it's not definitely not a good sign. Like, I mean, I'm not saying what he did is good, and I'm probably assume that video is horrible. Like, that seems terrible. Sort of, I don't know, get your point across, I guess, or clickbait. But like the fact that it still has more likes than dislikes, assuming this number is accurate, we have to assume this number.
Yeah, that could easily be made up. Yeah. Or
straight
not
up
be
lies
very
about the
indicative of
religion
anything.
Over 2 billion people. This led to the comment section becoming a minefield of almost every person pointing out and correcting one of Nas's many inaccuracies. Many were also simply outraged at the video and Nas's attitude towards covering such sensitive topics, with one comment reading, "Please study Islam properly from the scriptures, then make a video. 1 month can't be enough to study a single religion. You were just making fun of a very sensitive topic. You did Umrah to make a point. Please get yourself checked. And you should delete this video." At Nas Daily, an Islamic video creator named Smile to Jannah even made an entire video directly responding to Nas and his skewed view of Islam.
For the first time in my life, I shaved my head completely just to make a point.
Okay, this was a bit random, but why would you shave your head to make a point? And especially if you say this to a Muslim's thinking, huh? We shave our heads after pilgrimage because this was an act of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and this is something that we replicate. And you should also know the importance of intention, that the intention has to be correct for it to be accepted by God, not doing it to make a point.
But all of this would pale in comparison to the hypocrisy he showed when sharing his views on the Palestine-Israel conflict. As we mentioned earlier, while he was born in Israel, his family was of Palestinian descent, so people were naturally curious about his stance on the Palestine-Israel conflict. Nas also saw the number of people who wanted his opinion on the matter, and decided to cash in with a video titled, "My Israel and Palestine Explained." In this video, Nas tried to portray himself as a true neutralist.
Yeah, this is like some
someone who
super
just
thin
wants
ice,
peace.
right? Like weighing in on this one.
Yeah, like
Seems inherently dangerous.
yeah, I would just sort of take the L and move on. Like, you fucked up. Just move on. Just release more videos. Don't try to explain yourself. Just take the L. Move on. Right. People.
Wait, in what regard? Which L?
For the video that he made that upset all the.
The religious one you mean?
Yeah. Like,
yeah, well, I assume he did. This feels like all independently stupid things he's done that aren't related. Like, I guess this is still sort of a religious thing.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you
I don't know.
just like learn from your mistakes, and I feel like he just doesn't do that. But just based on this video, right? Like,
well, this has all happened in a pretty short space of time still, really.
True.
Although maybe it's normal for these kind of implosions to happen on a...
I mean, it is, right? 'Cause, like, this type of
time frame.
Yeah, like, if you're... a lot of YouTubers, it seems like they build themselves up, they get, like, quite a large audience, and then one event happens, and they just keep, like, imploding themselves by, like, addressing it and not... You know, you can make like an apology video, but often that makes things much worse because you don't actually know how to apologize because you don't think you did any wrong.
Yeah. Or the apology just aggravates even more or different people than who you pissed off in the first place. Yeah.
Bring people together, not apart. This is why we make these videos. This is why we support the many Israelis who want peace and the Palestinians who need peace.
However, this completely backfired, with most people seeing the video as self-serving and an attempt to trivialize such a complex matter. His attempts to appear neutral also got criticized by almost every viewer, with a comment from a Vietnamese person explaining the major flaw in his argument, stating, "I know your point is kind, but I disagree with you. As a Vietnamese, I have been taught how my ancestors fought to protect the country. My country was invaded and colonized by China, France, Japan, USA. They never wanted to free Vietnam. Vietnamese people had been slaves for hundreds of years until they fought and gained victory. If they just prayed for peace, if they wanted to be friends with the invaders, the country people would have been slaves for thousands of years later." And Nas's actions outside of this video only made things worse. In a tweet he made in October of 2023, he claimed to be an Israeli first, Palestinian second, which people interpreted as him taking Israel's side in the conflict.
Of course, that's exactly how that reads.
Him openly cursing at Israel with his friends when he thought he was off camera. And here lies the biggest issue with Nas's stance on the Palestine-Israel issue. He's a hypocrite who is completely dishonest with his audience. He tried to present himself as a neutral party vouching for peace, but in reality, he doesn't care what happens to either side. He's only interested in making videos on the conflict and saying whatever would get him the most views.
Yeah, so he's at 40% now. So I think, he just, every video he made, he had a shirt that had 1% more towards the life end point, I guess.
Or he take down from 100.
Oh yeah, he might have gone backwards. But I'm assuming this is in chronological order.
It's weird though. I feel like we haven't seen anything over 50%. I've seen some small numbers.
Well, maybe he hasn't made it there, right? You know?
Maybe.
But
this seems such a mismatch of videos from him over those many years.
Yeah.
I guess if he's not, he wasn't doing one every day. Well, he did that blog every day.
But when did the
shirt
shirt start?
The shirt that already.
Yeah.
Well, this shirt started from the very first videos they were showing us.
Yes, but that wasn't in any order. Those were like clips to introduce the character, right?
Yeah.
So I think the shirt thing. I mean, to get shirts made, especially because I'm assuming he's selling these shirts. It wouldn't be cheap. So I think this wouldn't have started until he had a following, you know?
Well, I mean, it's possible he just had the shirts ready from somewhere.
Possibly.
But
I think this is his brand. I think this is entirely his branding.
Could be. It would fit, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then it is weird that we've only seen such a
small amount,
tight range.
Yeah. I know. We'll see. We got to keep an eye on the progression of the shirt.
Yes.
Which, as you might imagine, pissed off both sides, resulting in Nas losing his entire audience. Now, looking back at his many controversies, they may seem completely unrelated at a first glance. However, there is a single
it's what we said.
Altogether. His overinflated
what I said anyway.
Whether it's exploiting an elderly tattoo artist or claiming he has the solution to a complicated conflict. It all starts to make sense when you realize he genuinely believes he's always right. This would also explain his complete inability to take any criticism, like when a YouTuber by the name of Avi Yamini confronted him about the mismatch between his words and actions.
Nas, how you doing, mate?
Good, mate. How are you? How are you?
Tell us.
Nice to meet you, everybody.
Do you think it's cool that you're standing here and you're being employed, like you're getting paid by the World Economic Forum to promote their product?
I'll tell you what's cool. This is the video. How are you guys? Give me. You know what's really cool is that all this was done for no money.
You did it for free.
For free, my
so
friend.
You're willing to sell yourself for free.
I'm selling myself for free because I have opinions, and I agree with those opinions.
You push the climate change agenda. You push a lot of these agendas, these woke agendas. But here, what's the
friend? We've done more for climate change than you have.
Here, what have you done?
We've done.
How did you get here?
We've done more for climate change than you have.
Nas retaliated by acting like a child and rudely interrupting Avi when he was interviewing the Prime Minister of Luxembourg and running away.
I'll be honest, when I first got to Davos, he confused me by interrupting my interview with the Luxembourg Prime Minister and then running away.
So is he annoying you? Is he annoying you?
No, it's still okay.
Okay, because this is Nas Daily. He's a great, listen, Nas Daily.
This guy's annoying. Be careful of this guy. He's annoying.
I was a lawyer before. If you need some help.
Wait. What law?
What?
Nas might need
so he's got
some weird petty shit now.
Yeah, he's got a chip on his shoulder because this guy made him look like an idiot, and obviously the internet did not like what his responses were. So now he's like, oh well, while I'm around, if I in the areas that he's in, I'm going to essentially try and wreck his content because that's what he's doing to mine. This is
super mature.
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, it sounds like one of the most mature people on the planet. Let's be real.
Nas, come here. 2 questions.
I'm good.
Wait.
Bro, I know you're.
Hold on.
All of these controversies.
Is his ear bleeding?
Maybe, or he's got something in his ear.
Bro, I know you're.
Oh no, it's a headphone. Okay, it's a headphone. Yeah.
Plug or something.
Caused 99% of his audience to abandon him completely. His videos now struggle to hit 100,000 views, while his tweets barely scrape together 100 likes, despite him having over 137,000 followers on that platform. A comeback is still possible, but it would demand Nas to completely rebrand himself and start over from scratch, something I can't picture him doing anytime soon. He'll likely keep producing the same type of content, gradually fading into complete irrelevance in the coming months, with no hopes of ever regaining the massive audience he once had. Another YouTuber who faced a massive downfall was Blasphemous HD, who has millions of subscribers but can barely scrape together 10,000 views. Click the video on screen to find out. Blasphemous.
All right, yeah,
Wow.
that was very interesting. I feel like he didn't really go into enough detail about like what caused his huge viewership drop off. I understand, like, yeah, people were annoyed at like the fact that he was hiding information and stuff, but it kind of didn't really explain why all the people just stopped watching.
Well, I wonder if it was a really distinct, sharp drop off, because we saw a lot of videos that were like 10, 11 million views.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, no one's watching.
A whole lot less than that. Yeah.
Like normally with
really
these controversial videos, like about like the downfall of YouTubers and content creators and what have you, they get called out on something and then they try and release like a video or maybe a couple of videos trying to explain themselves, and then everyone's just kind of like, wow, this guy's kind of insane. But he didn't do any of that. Like, he just kept doing what he was doing and everyone stopped watching.
Well, I guess if he managed to alienate each of the elements of his audience, right, with different things, did the exploitative stuff, so people were like, well, I'm not into seeing him from an educational perspective. Did the anti-religious stuff, I don't know, the anti-Israeli Palestine stuff, kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have
everybody who was watching you, because if you've got that many subscribers, there must be different segments that you hit, different kinds of groups of people you appeal to. And then if you manage to individually
piss them all off,
push each of them off your content, then sort of no one is left.
True. Yeah. So maybe
in that same way, like where these groups of people that we're not in that group, right? Because I don't know who this guy was. I don't think I'd ever seen a video by him.
No, which is weird because, especially because he did so much stuff with crypto.
Like he would have covered topics that we might well have like interacted with, right?
Yeah, like
or put it another way, how has Asmongold not reacted to anything he's done?
Yeah, or any big, like Moist Critical or anyone like,
yeah,
and that's very strange. I guess maybe he appealed to a very specific demographic, like a geographical demographic. So maybe it was just like maybe Middle East, non-Western geographical, where he was really popping off.
Yes, which would also explain the English that we're seeing in a lot of those comments. It was like decent, but not, not native English.
Wasn't native first language.
Thought out, like maybe translated by a machine. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. Well, I mean, sure, satisfying downfall.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he fell off as quickly as he did, and
yeah, bit of a sad waste of the platform, though. It seems like a motivated audience that might well. I mean, the values he was espousing were good. Preserving things through his academy, that sort of thing. Like, these are all good ideas in principle.
Yes.
But I guess if you're doing it just to make a buck, then
Yeah, it doesn't matter because you don't actually have those values, right? And that's why people stop watching, presumably, right? It's because you promote yourself as having these values, but it's like you don't actually have any of them. It's just whoever's paying you the most money.
Yeah, that's how you decide.
Especially with the
This
crypto.
would get easier, right? If you I imagine he wasn't getting paid off the rip. So off the riff, he's trying to come up with genuine ideas of people to show people.
Yeah, I feel like
there's value.
when he
Then if somebody
started
comes,
off, yeah.
Hey, I've got a thing you probably want to show people anyway, but just in case you're on the fence, here's a bunch of money. Huh. Yeah, you're right. These are people I want to show people. This is fine. I'll also take a bunch of money. This is fine. And then you'd stop sort of actually creating content and just rely on getting a sponsorship deal as to who you should do your content on in the future.
Yeah. And then not disclosing it. And it is also possible that like YouTube did some kind of shadow ban on him as well, right? Because like if because of the whole hiding the sponsorship deals, yeah, it's just like, well, we just will actively sort of decrease his promotion behind the scenes. Now, it's very rare for YouTube to do, extremely rare for YouTube to do this, especially with big channels. So I was watching a Turkey Tom video the other day, and he was talking about this, and someone in the chat was like, "Oh, you know, no, sorry, he, the person the video was on was saying I got shadow banned."
I'll go, Riv.
Okay,
I'll go. All right. I'll catch you later.